Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video, and today I'm doing another topics video. Basically topic videos are just me discussing a certain topic, usually from anything really, from why I like cartoons to my top 5 questions to Peter Capaldi to other stuff like the one that I'm doing today, which is, if you can tell by the title, why I like comic books as a form of media. Now, the reason why I like personally comic books, which will vary from person to person, why they like them or dislike them and whatnot, which is the fun of the game really. But yeah, the reason why I like comic books is just because they're so wide and there's such a variation between them all. Which is kind of annoying because, well, not annoying, but the annoying thing is that obviously most people outside of liking comic books see it as just purely or the stereotype they always have is just that it's for, nerdy, weirdo, geeky people who are, antisocial and still live with their mums and in their basement or some bunkum like that. And that they're just comic books, or the superhero comic books, the Batman and Flash, or Captain America and Deadpool and stuff like that. When actually it's much more than that. Or there's either that stereotype or another stereotype that they're just for kids. Oh look, there's that Simpsons comic book. Yeah, that's just a kids show, or the SpongeBob one, or the My Little Ponies Adventure Time. They're just for kids. Or whatever. When actually I think comic books far exceed that stereotype a lot of the time. There's quite a lot of dark, gritty, graphic stuff, hence the reason why graphic novels are referred to as graphic novels, because they are graphic things, like V for Vendetta, The Walking Dead, and The Goddamned. I've got The Goddamned issue 1 and 2, issue 1 and 2 of The Goddamned, single issues, and I've got the first volume of The Walking Dead, and I've got all of the V for Vendetta graphic novel and stuff, which is really at times, quite gruesome. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. That's quite gory, pretty much. One of Deadpool's best graphic novels. Highly recommend that if you want to get into Deadpool graphic novels. Granted, I might have a lot more single issues than actual graphic novels, but that's usually because the single issues are cheaper to get. But then again, you might have 6 issues, spanning, one a month, or one, however, much they publish them, or regularly they publish them. But then, then they all get compressed into a graphic novel, and usually it's cheaper to buy the graphic novel, but then again you have to wait longer and you won't get all the individual covers and stuff like that. But, anyway, going on to what I was saying a minute ago, which was, there is a massive variety in comic books. It's not just superhero stuff, and it's not just stuff for kids. There's a lot of material out there that's based off already established intellectual properties, stuff from Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, Ninja Turtles, all sorts of bits and bobs out there. And, there's gruesome stuff, there's not so gruesome stuff, if you want more sort of darker superheroes, DC is probably better for you. If you want more sort of run-of-the-mill good guy, then Marvel would probably be better. If you want more sort of, I don't know, just, kiddish stuff, maybe, or more childlike comic book, then, Adventure Time and stuff like that would probably be better. And even though Doctor Who as a TV show is a family show, I definitely think that I'd categorise it more as just a kid's comic book, really, because there's not a lot of violence in those comic books, but I think that's because they really want them to be, appealable to everyone, you know, so that everyone can enjoy them, because Doctor Who is enjoyed by everyone pretty much, because it is all inclusive, really, in my mind anyway, and that's one of the things that I like about Doctor Who. But in comic books, yeah, you can, you know, get really these intricate, nice characters, because there's, you know, 6, 12, you know, 13 issues of one story arc, you know? Like the, for example, the new Suicide Squad film's coming out, but there's 6 characters in that. From my understanding, there's 6 characters to that, and, well, I think they may have had 12 or maybe 15, you know, issues to characterize all of those characters, you know? Plus, you know, a well-rounded story arc, you know, so everyone links in, I think, as well. You know, but again, that's the problem with, like, films, you know, you might not get that time to intricately do subtle details of characters, whereas in comic books you can, because every issue is just a little nugget, is a little chapter in the big whole grand scheme of things, you know. It really is like saying, you know, to a screenwriter person, you know, a person who's writing a script, you know, okay, the first 10 pages, that's one bit of the film, you know, the next 10 pages, that's just one film, or one bit of the film, or, you know, like adapting each of those little, you know, 5 or 10 pages, you know, into one comic book, but then saying, you know, that continues next, you know, a few weeks later when you get the next issue or whatnot. A lot of the time the art is very nice, and sometimes it can be different interpretations of well-established things, you know, like Star Wars or Star Trek, which might go against what you, or how you perceive that show, but then again, it's someone else's interpretation of the show that they clearly, hopefully, love, you know? So, you know, it's always very interesting to see, you know, like, someone's drawing of, say, one of the Doctors, or one of the, you know, crew members on the Starship Enterprise, or whatnot, you know? I think, anyway, you know, because even if it's not to how you perceive the show and that style, what the show is to you, and how you perceive it visually and whatnot in your head and emotionally, maybe it's not all those things, but it's still cool to allow other people that, you know, freedom and that creativeness, the creative license to, you know, take from something that's already well established, like, as I said, Doctor Who, Star Wars, or Star Trek, and then interpret it themselves, and that, because then that makes it new and different, whilst hopefully being able to stay similar to the brand name. I know a lot of people say that comic books are a lot more mainstream than they used to be and stuff, and that's a bad thing and blah blah blah, which I do get. You know, a lot of people who do like nerdy things like them because the niche and the small little things. You know, like a lot of people who are in the 30s, 40s now feel very insecure about video games or liking video games because, you know, when they grew up they were so much, you know, they were so bullied about liking those things, whereas now it's just like an ordinary thing. Everyone plays them and that, and it's like, what's the point now if everyone's just playing them? I'm no different than them, so I might as well just stop playing video games and move on to the next niche thing. But yeah, I get that, but I still think, you know, there are a lot of very I don't know, I like comic books because, again, they are very inclusive, you know, and that, or the ones that I read anyway, like the Doctor Who ones are, you know, and I think it's something that a lot of people who like nerdy things like, you know, if you categorised as a nerd or a geek, then most people will probably assume that at some point you've picked up a comic book and read one, you know, whether it's an Adventure Time one or a Walking Dead one is irrelevant, you've still read one, you know, and I think a lot of people have, you know, read them at some point and that, and I hate it when people say that they're not like proper books or anything, and that, yeah, they are just something for kids, because it's like, no, not really, that there's still words there, there's, you know, that it's just, that information is just being conveyed in a different way, you know, and I think it's disgusting to say that that's not proper literature, really, because I think if you can make wanting to read more appealing to a 9-year-old boy or something, then I think it should really be praised and nurtured and loved, really, you know, rather than, you know, seen as a bad thing. Hey, that kid's reading a comic book, what a nerd, you know. You know, when actually it could be a really gory one, and that's why he likes it, you know. And it makes it easier as well, you know, because there are images there to prompt people. I know a lot of people dispute, or not dispute, but, you know, say that as a negative, you know, that they prefer books because they can conjure up the pictures in their head. But the thing is, some people can't, and some people can't, so it makes it easier when reading a comic book that the visuals are already there on the paper, so you don't have to visualise it yourself, really. And that, which for some people it helps, some people it doesn't. Either way is fine, really, I think. And yeah, I like comic books because they're a wide medium, you know, they stretch out from, you know, as I say, childlike stuff to more adult stuff and more dodgy stuff like Zombie Tramp or, you know, Walking Dead and The Goddamned and that, to more, you know, sort of family friendly, you know, that nice mix of both, really, where you've got stuff like Star Wars, which I do think as a comic book series, it would probably be quite humorous at times, but quite dark and a bit more dodgy in other places, but, you know, it could be appealing to both young and old, really, I think, personally, but I've not picked up any Star Wars comic books. But yeah, thanks for watching. Comment, rate and subscribe, and please do tell me in the comment section below why you like comic books. Thanks for watching, and bye.